Hi everyone, thanks for joining again today. I really appreciate you being here. So it's 11:43. I'm getting really hungry, and on the heels of making the boiling eggs episode yesterday, I kind of got the idea of making scrambled eggs for lunch and thought, hey, let's shoot a video on how to make scrambled eggs the very traditional way. So what you need is a non-stick skillet, ceramic, watch the cookware episode, ceramic only, not Tefal, the black stuff. Throw that in the garbage, please. It's very, very bad for you and it's very carcinogenic. A bowl to scramble the eggs in, 2 eggs, and homemade butter. Watch the homemade butter episode. It's really easy to make. Best butter you'll ever have. And it's, why not, right? We're making everything from scratch on this channel. Everything that we can possibly make from scratch, we're making from scratch because I am not a very trustworthy person, or trusting person. You can trust me. I'm not a very trusting person, and I don't trust what manufacturers and producers put in their foods that are sold in grocery stores. So I'd rather just make everything from scratch myself. So, homemade butter. I'm gonna make scrambled eggs, and I've got salt, pepper, and I like to season it with a little bit of herbs de Provence, HPV, but I don't have that in my pantry today. So I'm just gonna toss in a little bit of oregano just for a little flavor. And let's get going. So funny thing about eggs, there's actually 99 different ways to cook an egg. And did you know that if you ever go to France and go to traditional French restaurants and, you know, French chefs have these really tall, chef hats on, and you notice that they've got creases around their chef hats. Some have some creases, a few, some have a lot. Did you know that actually stands for something? So what it stands for, and this is just a little bit of trivia, what it stands for is as chefs graduate in their careers and gain more experience, and as they move up the French, kitchen brigade, the more ways they know how to cook an egg corresponds to the number of creases they have on their hat. So if they only have 10 or what have you, I don't know, then they really have only mastered 10 ways of cooking an egg and have been certified to only cook an egg 10, maybe not certified, but they've mastered 10 ways of cooking an egg. I'm not sure how they monitor that or regulate it or what have you, but this is just a fun little fact. But there is a 99, and the ones with really thin creases all the way around, those are your master chefs. They have mastered 99 or however many ways to bake an egg. And it's just a fun little fact. You can use that in your, hanging out with friends, drinking, and showing off with a little trivia. That's always a fun little thing to do. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pause the video. Actually, I'm gonna pause the video, tilt the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. This is the only time I get to sort of do this. I promise you it's always start record, end record. It's shot all the way through. But I want you to kind of see what's happening in the pan. So I'm just gonna pause, tilt the camera down, and restart recording, and then we're gonna go through. All right, so bear with me. All right, we're back. So I hope you can see this. I'm gonna try and sort of make sure that you can see everything really well. But let's go ahead and crack our eggs. And I'm just gonna do it right here for you. I'm gonna toss the shells in here. And I am going to wash my hands really quickly. Okay. Now, let's see, that's about right. Okay, to beat the eggs, don't beat them too much, just enough. That's probably perfect. Okay. All right, so here's the other thing. So when you are seasoning eggs, you can season. Do I have enough pepper in here? What's going on? Where is my pepper? Okay, clearly I don't have enough pepper in here. So let's see. All right. Well, you can season the egg batter with really whatever you want to season it with, except salt. Why? because salt dehydrates foods, right? And we don't want to do that. We want the egg to hold, so you can, I've seasoned it with pepper, a little bit of oregano, and you notice what I did with the oregano. I put it in my palm and kind of squished it a little bit around, and that's to release the oils, to give it a little bit more flavor. And in the sort of bowl it goes. All right. We will turn on the stove. Excuse me, medium-high heat. And I'm gonna wait for it to warm up just a little bit before I throw in the butter. Now, if you notice, I've got a stainless steel pan here as well. I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to attempt to try and make that non-stick to cook an egg, but maybe. We'll see how this goes, and we'll see if we want to do that. But we're going to use a non-stick for now. Please throw your Tefal away. Please go to your favorite store to get your ceramic non-stick pans, right? Because those are much safer and they'll last a long time. I mean, I've had this probably for 2 years now, and we are very careful with it. We use rubber spatulas or maybe wooden spoons, if you may, but rubber spatulas are probably best for eggs, right? And very careful with it. So, all right, so it's getting warmed up. So I'm gonna take my butter, and don't be afraid to throw in a lot of butter. I know you think, well, Kareem, it's not healthy to throw in a lot of butter. Look, butter is good for you, man. It's got some good fats in there. Don't go crazy with it, but it's not terrible for you, right? What is terrible for you is margarine and or vegetable oil, butter, whatever, like all this non-natural stuff that companies are making for you to satisfy sort of, the big trend of, oh, it's got saturated fats or heavy. Look, everything's fine in moderation, okay? And little trivia, the egg will only absorb as much butter as it needs. It won't sort of absorb all the butter. It'll just absorb only what it needs, right? So get the butter nice and hot. And what you want to do when you're cooking, when you're making scrambled eggs, is do it on low heat, right? So it's now starting to bubble over, as you can see in the video. So I'm just going to go down to low heat, right? And why? Because you don't want the egg to cook too fast. The slower the egg cooks, the more flavor you're going to get in the egg, right? So you don't want it to cook too fast. So the reason why I use a spatula is because I want to get every bit of my egg from this bowl in here. Now, the way, I'm going to go up a little bit because, we don't want this to take 30 minutes, right? So the way to make scrambled eggs is you can sort of swirl it around a little bit, but really what you want to do is just push it in and run the egg through, right? Push and tilt, push and tilt. So I'm going to grab it from here. I'm going to push inwards. I'm going to tilt and do that. And that's all you're doing the whole time, okay? Use all four sides. Push, tilt. Am I on the end? Yeah, good. Okay, push, tilt some more. See that? And you just want to keep doing that until the egg has completely set. Yeah, it's pretty much set. You can go up a little bit just to kind of get it going a little bit more. And then what I do is I just kind of softly fold it. If you don't like them too runny, just, you know, fold it gently a couple of times, but what you want is the egg to be fluffy, right? That's what you want. You can actually go up a little bit more in heat, just so this doesn't take too long. If you're in a hurry in the morning, that's fine. Just don't do it on really high heat. It'll cook too fast. You want to get that flavor, and the slower the egg cooks, remember, the more flavorful it's going to be. Okay. So just flip it over a couple of times, just in case, sort of, you don't want. And that's it, basically. This is when effectively, see that? This is effectively when I turn it off. That's it. Now, the way I grew up learning how to make scrambled eggs, I should probably, can you see me? No, you're not gonna be able to see me. Oh my goodness, no. So the way I grew up learning how to make scrambled eggs is you beat the egg to death and you make it, and you keep turning and turning and turning and turning and turning and turning in the skillet to the point where all you're getting are little pebbles that are overcooked, right? Little tiny pebbles that are overcooked. If you've learned to do it that way, incorrect. And the egg probably tastes like crap, and it's just not, you know, it's not enjoyable to eat, right? It's everywhere, it falls apart, it's like dust. You're eating the consistency of dust, right? So the idea is you want to get it fluffy, you want to get it silky to where it just kind of melts in your mouth, right? And the slower you cook it, the more flavorful it's going to be. Never put salt in the egg sort of mix, right, before you put it in the pan. Always salt after. You can salt in the pan once you're done, or you can salt it sort of, you know, on your toast or what have you. You can put whatever herbs and pepper and etc. in the batter, that's fine, but no salt. I don't use water. I don't use milk. And the traditional way is to use neither, right? I like the taste of eggs as pure as they can be. No water, no milk. If you talk to Bobby Flay, he likes to put creme fraiche in there. I'm not going to argue Bobby Flay, he's, you know, Iron Chef, and I respect him a lot. And I've learned a lot from him, so I'm not going to argue with him. He likes to do that, that's fine if you decide that you want to do that. But no milk, no eggs, no salt. Herbs and stuff is fine. And look at this. I mean, just look at this, right? It's nice, it's silky, it's smooth, it's soft. I'm actually going to take this and put it on some toast. One moment. Actually, I've burned my toast, so I'm going to have to remake the toast. So I'm not going to show you that because I'm busy making this and wasn't paying attention to the toast. Why are my eggs so orange? So it's not, contrary to what you might think, it's not because it's more fresh. Eggs take on the color of the food that they're given. That's it. That's all it is. So if they're given, I don't know, if they're given a certain type of grain or foods to eat, that will, the chickens, as they're eating them, that will change the color of the egg. There is virtually no difference between white-shelled eggs and brown-shelled eggs. I know we all like brown because it looks nicer. That's fine. But the color of the yolk itself is only determined by what feed the chicken is given. That's it. That's all it is. So I just happen to have, these just happen to be a little bit more on the orange side or on the reddish orange side than normal. It is what it is. So I'm going to make some toast and I'm going to put this egg on top of it and I'm going to enjoy my lunch. And I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it and enjoy making scrambled eggs. Thanks. See you soon.